so tell me your role at the Liverpool Echo.
So when I first started at the Liverpool Echo, I was a digital production journalist working shifts of 2 till 10 weekdays. So that was just essentially uploading content, making it all look good on the website, publishing it on social medias. And now I'm a social media sports writer for all Trinity Mirror sites.
Okay, and how long have you been how long was you at the Echo and how long have you been?
So I was at the Echo for around 9 or 10 months, and I've been in this job since mid-July.
Okay, and what platforms do you actually analyse each day?
Anything and everything. We have a site called Chartbeat, which gives us how many people are on the site at each one time, how many people are on each story, and where people have come from to get to that story. So Google, Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, anywhere that people might have come from, we can see it.
Okay, and tell me some of your daily routines.
So in the job that I'm in now, my daily routine is to search what's already on our website for anything that I might have missed that's gone up overnight. Then I will open up TweetDeck, which lets me analyse different social media accounts all at once, and I'll scan anything that's happening with football fans, what they're all talking about, and then I'll start writing my content.
And tell me, how do you find your stories?
I find it a lot through social media because that's my job essentially. So yeah, social media is my big one.
Okay, and do you upload each story you get on social media, and do you put them all on all the platforms, or do you kind of put different ones each where?
With the Echo, it's a little bit different with Facebook and Twitter. Everything gets tweeted out multiple times on like the Echo News account, but you have certain slots for things on Facebook, so only the stories that you think will perform best will go on Facebook, because you can't put every story on Facebook, because otherwise Facebook just shuts it down. They don't like it at all. Yeah, they don't like that many links being shared out.
Right.
So you've got I think it's a 45-minute gap you've got to put between every piece. So it's only the best ones go on Facebook.
Okay. And roughly how many stories do you upload each day, would you say?
When I was at the Echo, I was uploading, so I wasn't strictly writing content a lot. I was uploading a lot more content, so I'd be uploading about between 12 and 15 stories a day. Now that I'm in my job and I'm writing the content as well, it's probably 5 or 6 stories each day that I'll be producing and uploading all myself.
Okay. And do you have any targets to meet by the end of the day?
There are specific, kind of general page view targets, but they're not strictly hammered into you. You monitor Chartbeat. If you see Chartbeat's doing well, there's a lot of people on the site, then generally people are happy.
Yeah. Which is the most popular platform audiences use to read stories?
I'd say Facebook. A lot more referrers seem to come from Facebook, even though a lot more gets shared on Twitter. Like when you're on your Twitter feed, it's just there, and then 10 seconds later it's out of your Twitter feed, it's gone.
Yeah.
Whereas with Facebook, they've got this algorithm, so whenever you log into Facebook, you can see stuff that's happened 8 hours ago, and it might pop up first on your feed. So that often helps stories perform a lot better.
How do you get your audience to interact with you on social media?
It's all about how you sell a story. So putting on, it's all about how you headline it, essentially. So you've got to come up with that snappy headline so that people will actually read it, and then the content itself has got to be engaging enough for people to actually want to comment on it as well. So yeah, I'd say it's all down to the headline and how you're selling it on social media.
How do you deal with negativity on social media?
You get a lot of that in this job.
I bet you do. especially sport as well.
Oh. I mean, I support Everton, and Everton fans are the worst for it.
Oh, really?
We just hate anyone. But it depends what kind of negativity you get, and if it's a constructive kind of negative comments, like say they don't like something about how the site works, or maybe they don't like a particular aspect of the story, then by all means you can reply to that comment, you can get to the bottom of the issue, and you can see if you can resolve it. If people are just full on straight abusing you, then you just ignore it, you hide their comments. If it's persistent, then you block them. It's a mad world.
Yeah, I bet it is. Do you use a specific tone on social media? You know, are you quite formal or informal?
I like to be quite informal, just because I think in sport you can get away with it a bit more than you can on news. When you're on news, it's got to be the certain type of story that you can be a bit more informal on. With sport, you can be informal a lot more. You can engage a lot more with the fans, being informal. So I like to be a bit more like that.
Okay. Which type of stories get the most engagement?
I tend to say good news stories. People really love a really nice story. I think the most engagement that I've ever got on a story is I went to Goodison at the start of December, where the under-23 side were doing a sleep out at the stadium to raise money for a homeless charity, and I did that with them and then wrote a story after it, and that's the most engagement I've ever got.
Oh, really?
Yeah, definitely. So I'd say people seem to like a really good news story.
Yeah. What times do you post stories? Like, do you have a particular schedule, or?
As I say, with Facebook, then it's essentially every 45 minutes, but you don't really post stuff before, I think it was 5:30 or 6, and then after 10:30 or 11. So it's in between that window for Facebook. With Twitter, you want to post as much as you can whenever you can. There's no set schedule. Like we're just introducing now. We're scheduling tweets to go out overnight. So we're gonna see how they perform.
Yeah. Do you tend to post one type of story more than the other?
You tend to know which stories are gonna do better, which ones are gonna be most read. So you tend to keep pushing the ones that you think are going to be read more than any others. So maybe longer stories get tweeted out a bit more, just because there's more ways that you can sell that on social media. The more different ways you can sell a story on social media, the better. Really.
Is your routines and deadlines always changing, or do they kind of stay the same?
Being in my job, they're constantly changing. You can't really get yourself into a rut, almost. I don't want to say a rut. Like you can't just get yourself stuck into a routine too much, because then if something different does come up, you're not going to know how to deal with it. So it's always nice to have a bit of variety every day, really.
Yeah. Have you noticed any major changes with social media over the past few years?
Not really. I think maybe Twitter's getting a bit more toxic. Like I feel like the more you post stuff on Twitter these days, the more you're opening yourself up to negative comments, which is a shame, really. But it that's always been there. So yeah. I wouldn't say it's changed all that much for me.
Where do you see the future for social media for the Echo?
I can see it being massive. It's already major, but so social media now is how people get news. Like you just want that on the spot news, and the unique thing about social media is it provides that platform for people to get their views across as well instantly, with so many million followers. So I think it's going to play a massive part in the future, definitely.
Okay, and that's it.